The title of this mini podcast is Lead Yourself. You know, it takes a lot more than followers to be a leader. A lot more. It takes initiative, takes a clear vision, and maybe most importantly, takes a certain kind of energy and enthusiasm that people can feel. Get those pieces in place, and you won't have to chase followers. They'll find you. Because real leaders, no matter the field, have something in common. They have a substantial amount of people willing to follow them up that hill. Not everybody, but enough to make it obvious. And then there are the others, the ones who say they're leaders, usually from a pretty high mountaintop. But when you look behind them, there's hardly anybody truly there. Now, it feels like we're always in some kind of political season these days. Every couple of years, we're asked to choose people to lead. I don't always know who I will choose, but I'm very clear on how I decide who I won't. I ask myself a simple question. Would I follow this person up a hill? If the answer is no, they're off the list. And that's true across the board. Every side of the spectrum has people with messages we might agree with, but for whatever reason, they just can't get us to lace up our boots. And here's something I've noticed too. I've never met a leader I truly wanted to follow who had to tell me they were a leader. They're sort of like the person who tells you how much money they make within the first 5 minutes of meeting them. Red flag. It reminds me of something Ralph Waldo Emerson said. Who you are speaks so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying. Leaders just start. They move with confidence. And just as importantly, they know when to step back and follow someone else. That's part of being a leader too. So let me ask you something. It'll reveal the real message of this recording. Who's leading your life? Because if it's not you, then you're probably being pulled along by someone else's message. And so far, it hasn't been strong enough to get you very far. Maybe not even to the foothills. So you can follow someone, you can study them, quote them, repeat what they say. But eventually, you run into this reality. Leadership has to come from you. If you can't follow yourself up a hill, you're going to stay right where you are, tethered to the ground. At some point, you got to take everything you've learned, everything you've experienced, and actually use it. Otherwise, you're just repeating someone else's message. And that's not leadership. That's just staying comfortable at low altitude. So if you want to lead, start here. Get clear on your mountain. Decide where you're going. And then begin. Less talking, more walking. Because when you move with clarity and purpose, something interesting happens. You become a whole lot easier to follow. All the best, John.